the one and only Ivan movie summary in English. Let's begin. For 20 years, Ivan the Gorilla has been the star attraction at the Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, a circus inside a Central Florida shopping mall run by ringmaster Mac. Living in captivity with his fellow animal performers, wise elephant Stella, spoiled poodle Snickers, spunky baseball-playing chicken Henrietta, toy fire truck-riding rabbit Murphy, anxious sea lion Frankie, and loquacious parrot Thelma, Ivan befriends a stray mutt who lives in his enclosure. The animal's caretaker George often brings his daughter Julia, who bonds with Ivan. Giving Ivan her old crayons, she is able to decipher his drawings, and names the stray dog Bob. Losing business at the mall, Mac acquires a baby elephant named Ruby from a bankrupt circus. She draws in crowds and becomes the new headliner, but a jealous Ivan is hesitant to accept her. When Stella becomes weaker and unable to perform, Ivan encourages a nervous Ruby to embrace the crowd on her own. He later explains how Mac and his wife Helen adopted him as a baby. As Ivan got bigger, his animalistic behavior drove Helen away, and Mac eventually purchased the mall and turned it into a circus. Asking Ivan to ensure Ruby has a free life, Stella does. As Mac trains Ruby for the circus, Ivan decides to free her. Julia shows Ivan's drawings to Mac, who publicizes them as the next big act, but despite the new crowd gathered to see him draw, Ivan refuses to cooperate. That night, Ivan and Bob trick the security guard Costello and free the animals, though Snickers prefers to stay. The others escape across the highway at the cost of Murphy's fire truck, but discover the nearby forest is an intersection surrounded by more city. After being called by Costello, who mentioned that he was locked inside Ivan's cage and that none of the animals were in the mall, Mac finds the animals back and takes them back to the mall after mentioning to Ivan that Ruby would be at risk outside. He later tells George to keep their escape a secret while mentioning that he fired Costello. Ivan tells Ruby about life in the jungle with other gorillas, where he loved to draw with mud and play with his sister Tag until poachers killed his father and captured Ivan. Mac and George prepare for the day's entertainment, where Murphy was a new yellow fire truck off camera, which Murphy complains to Henrietta that no one drives a yellow fire truck. With finger paint from Julia, Ivan paints a mural in his enclosure. TV reporter Candace Taylor arrives to question Mac about the rumored escape. He dismisses it, noting that the animals are currently inside the building and persuades her to film the show, where he and the audience are astonished by Ivan's mural of his jungle home. Julia believes that Ivan wants to be free. With Candace's help, she rallies public support. Protesters arrive, demanding the animals' release, and Mac agrees to shut down. As Henrietta, Murphy, Thelma, and Frankie are taken away, Mac says goodbye to Ivan, thanking him for their time together. Dr. Maya Wilson relocates Ivan to an expansive gorilla habitat at Zoo Atlanta, where he is reunited with other gorillas. He discovers that he is situated right next to the elephant enclosure, where Ruby now lives with her kind. Ivan assures Stella's spirit that Ruby is free. During the credits, photos and footage of the real Ivan are shown with a summary of his life. As the credits continue rolling, Ivan is greeted by Bob, now adopted by Julia and George, who have come with Mac to visit the animals.